What's up, everybody? Doug here, and we've got a special episode coming out. Early. Usually we post on Mondays, but I guess what I'm saying is next week's episode is airing early, and it's going to be airing on a Friday. So you can listen to this early, or if you just don't look for this podcast until you're on a Monday, then it's going to be there for you. It's going to be a little bit longer than our normal episodes because I recorded something with Leo that's going to be at the end of this little recording I'm doing now. Um, but yeah, this weekend, if you're listening to this on Friday and the weekend has not passed yet, I will be doing shows tonight on August 18th and August 19th. Is it the 18th? I'm just going off. Yeah, okay, it's August 18th. So I'm doing a show tonight, August 18th, and tomorrow night, August 19th, at LaBerge Casino in Lake Charles. The show's going to be at the L Bar from 8 to 12. Come on out if you can. Uh, but that's not the reason we're doing this episode. Well, I mean, it is the reason. But the reason I'm doing this particular recording is because I did it. I got a review code. Uh, this is something that I've been trying to do for a really long time. And some of you might remember Here We Are, which is the podcast I was a part of beforehand, before the Night Ride Home. And I tried for quite a while to get review codes. And it was actually easier to sign on to sites to get review codes because we weren't a podcast. I mean, we were a podcast. We weren't just a podcast. We had a YouTube channel and a Twitch channel that we uploaded videos to fairly regularly, but we still uh, couldn't get the review codes. And this time around, we're registered as media press. So apparently that's what we just needed to do all along. We did that. And, Evolve PR sent me out a review code for this game called Blood West. It's it's a stealth horror FPS with a retro feel to it that's set in the Wild West. And I've spent enough time with it to give my thoughts. I still have more of it to play, and it's actually still technically in early access. It's only got chapters 1 and 2 out right now, but chapter 3 comes out. Evolve actually sent me a PR release. I'm gonna have to look at it, but it comes out sometime later this year. As if this year didn't have enough to play. Uh, but yeah, so my thoughts on this game is it's. I will start with saying this is a very good game. It's got a fantastic setting. Like I said, it's in the Wild West. You wake up, you're in the middle, you're in a cave basically, and there's a totem pole that's basically saying, "Hey, you got there's a lot of evil going on right now. We can't really tell you about your past, but what we do need to tell you is that there's some evil. You need to go take care of it." So, uh, you start out, learning how to sneak past things, and there's a stealth meter at the bottom of the screen that tells you how visible you are and how much noise you're making. And this really does harken back to uh, how the retro feel of the game is, and the graphics have the retro kind of PS1, I would say, kind of PS1 graphic style to the graphics, and the stealth is very. It's not that it's punishing, but it's not gonna let you get away with stuff like some more modern stealth games where, like, if you can, like in some modern stealth games, you can get away with a lot before the AI will see you. But if the zombies in that cave turn around and you're in front of them, guess what? They saw you and they're gonna come after you. Uh, so you get your first weapon, fairly. You get an axe, and then, like, shortly after that, you get a revolver. And the axe, as long as you sneak up on somebody, you're going to get a one hit kill. But the gunplay is where the real challenge of the game comes in. Uh, you pretty much have to land headshots in this game to down an enemy because, but believe me, I've tried. If you just do body shots, especially on the animated dead enemies, and I want to say I even tried like on the Birdman and the flying skulls. They don't really. I mean, but especially the zombies, the undead enemies, you have to land a headshot. Which, I mean, typical zombie rules, but still. Uh, But yeah, you basically go through. You're taking care of some zombies. When you get to the town, is where things really started to really the atmosphere of the game really started to solidify for me. And there's caves to explore, and you're going through the desert. You're finding like abandoned train cars. You're finding there's a Native American man that you can talk to. There is a guy who's basically like, hey, if you go kill some stuff for me, I'll get you some gold. Uh, and as you're killing the undead enemies in this game, you're getting to loot them, and the inventory system is very reminiscent of Diablo and Diablo's 1 and 2. Uh, like it literally looks almost identical, and the things that you loot from the enemies can be sold or uh, like the items you get from them can be used to trade to the totem pole to get rid of curses. And curses are basically when you die, you get a stack, right? And I think if you die 3 times, you get a curse, and that curse stacks. The curse that I got was you didn't level up as fast, basically. And to get rid of the curse, you can talk to the totem pole, and you can. I think that the time that I got cursed was I was like, hey, I've got this curse. He's like, bring me some Birdman feathers, and Doug, there's Birdman, yeah. There's literal men in little snazzy suits that are walking around with wings and owl heads. Or probably not owls, but you know what I mean. They're birds, and they've got guns, and they'll shoot you. And they're pretty quick. They're pretty quick on the draw. Uh, but getting back to the atmosphere of the game, it has the gunplay is very satisfying when you land a hit. And I will say, going through the town, sneaking through each of the buildings, and like getting right up on somebody and landing a headshot was very satisfying. Uh, so getting down to the nitty gritty of it, what did I like about this game? What did I not like about this game? Uh, the things I do like, I love the environment. The atmosphere is fantastic. The music really sets you in that retro first person shooter era of you load into the screens and you can hear the rock music in the background. And but when you get into the game, it's got a very atmospheric sound to it. And the graphics is going to be a case by case basis on if you like retro graphics or if you don't. I personally do. I like the retro graphics here. Uh, the enemy variety it's pretty cool. At one point, I literally said the words, "Oh my god, it's a zombie whore," and there was a zombie whore carrying around a shotgun, and that's how I got my first shotgun. Uh, the loot system is good. I like being able to loot things in any game and to be able to sell them and get new weapons and get ammo. Uh, yeah, and the the biggest praise I can give to this game is I'm excited to play more of it. And the final review for this game is not going to come out until Chapter 3 is out, because uh, that'll be enough for me to give my final thoughts on it, because I'm not going to just review part of the game and say absolutely this is an 8 or something. Uh, but the only negatives I can really see for this game are I wish that there was a difficulty slider. Like if there was a difficulty option for the game to make it just a little easier, give a little bit more ammo, because I would love to, like, I love stealth games, but I would love to be able to play this how they're billing it, to be able to go guns blazing if you want to. But I can tell you right now, if you try to go in this game guns blazing, you will die very fast. I want to say the regular zombie enemies can take you down in 3 hits, and that's really the only negative I have for it. As far as Steam Deck play, as far as performance, the game runs on most of the PCs that I tried it on. I tried it on a really crappy PC, and I had to change a few settings here and there, but I got it playable. As far as Steam Deck goes, the game is extremely playable on the Steam Deck. The only thing that you have to do is use the track pads to to click, to load your get into the game and to loot things. You have to use the track pads because nothing the in game everything works as it should. It's when you get into the menus that things aren't really. You have to use the trackpads. That's the only downside, but it's perfectly playable. I would say that this game could be rated playable on the Steam store if they ever got around to it. If you want to try this game out for yourself, like I said, it's in early access. I want to say that it's $15 right now, and let me look just real fast. Uh, Blood West. Yeah, okay, Blood West. It is indeed. It's $14.99 on the Steam store right now, and like I said, you're getting the first two chapters. Chapter 3 comes out later this year. Uh, so I mean, if this sounds like your cup of tea, the developer is Hyper Strange, and they seem to be doing a lot of good work. So if that's something you want to look into, then definitely go check them out. Like I said earlier in the show, we've got a segment coming up with Leo, who is my usual co-host. We did an episode yesterday where we talked about video game franchises that we just wish we would have played, and at this point, it's kind of like a thing where where do I even start now, or what in cases like Silent Hill, where maybe it's too late to jump into that franchise. So yeah, just stay tuned, and I'll see you next time.
Hey, buddy.
What's up,
Not much. Just waking up.
dude? I just had a thought. While I was listening to this fun little jingle,
Yeah.
uh, podcast Spotify, or Spotify, but Anchor. That's the old name is Anchor, and the service I use to record these.
Yeah.
If they have no idea the content that I could make, if I could start a recording and then invite people like on the fly, I would just be having 50 people on every episode.
That would be awesome. That would be so fun, actually.
I like I'd had this idea a while back, like when I was going back and forth to mom, like because I was going back and forth to Mamu like multiple times for Grayson's games, and
Yeah.
it could be like a nice little radio show. And I'm like really dedicated into making that happen some way. Just don't know how yet.
Oh my god. Random. You
Uh,
just get random calls.
oh my god. I'm me getting random calls. Everybody else would be getting calls like, "Hi, you're live on the Night Ride Home podcast. I hope you're okay with it because you're on here now, and I'm not
You're,
editing you out.
you don't understand. You're already in the podcast.
We don't have disclosures on this podcast. It's just if you answer the phone, that's between everything after that's between you and God.
You and the audience, actually.
Yeah, look at me. I am the audience now. Oh, what you been up to?
A lot of work because I'm about to go on vacation. So doing a 7-day week. So that's a little harsh, but almost done.
Almost done, man. I'm actually so real quick, just so everybody knows, this episode is gonna be it's gonna be a little bit of a long one because along with this part that we're doing right here, I'm also gonna be attaching uh part one of my review for Blood West, which is a game that we got a review code for. And so this is actually gonna go live on a Friday, which is tomorrow, because I am going on the back. I'm going back on the casino circuit basically, and so that means 2 4-hour shows over the weekend, and I'm going to be exhausted after that. So I'm not going to feel like doing all this on Monday. So I'm just going to put together a big episode, uh, and it's going to go live tomorrow, probably around lunchtime, because I'm going to record that review probably in the morning. But yeah, dude. So are you're a stealth? You like stealth games because you like Metal Gear, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to see if I can get a second code because this game combines a lot of things you like. It's challenging, it's stealth based, and it's a horror. It's a stealth horror FPS set in the Wild West.
Interesting.
Yeah. So uh, if you're an audience member and you're listening to us talk right now, you've already listened to my review. But yeah, so just go listen to that, Leo. That'll be a fun time for you. I think it's $15, and it's still technically early access, but it comes out. They just sent me a press release for it earlier, but I think it comes out sometime in the next few months.
All right, that's just good.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's pretty much my next few days. I've got 2 casino shows. Uh, the last ones went really well, so I'm pretty excited about these.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's gonna be. You got a lot going on, man.
Yeah, and I've actually been doing night classes as well. So uh, in the next few, I think starting this week, I've got night classes on Monday, and then my daughter has dance classes on Tuesday, class on Wednesday night, and then she has class on Thursday night. So it is just going to be straight chaos for the next few months, and then I don't know if you remember, I've got his wedding in November.
I kind of lost you there at the end.
I was saying I don't know if you're. Obviously you remember, right? We did a podcast with him. I just booked the hotel for his wedding in November.
Oh, nice, nice.
Yes, it's going to be a busy last half of the year, especially with Armored Core's coming out. I still have to finish Baldur's Gate, which I actually just made. I made a wrong call in Baldur's Gate, and I did not realize how wrong of a call it was after I made it. And I saw all the ramifications of what I did, and then I Googled, just for giggles. I was like, what would happen if I picked the other way? And they said, oh, your life would have been so much better if you would have picked this way. And I was like, all right, well, I'm going to reload the save.
You gotta
When
stick to
I
your decisions, man.
like, I'm not going to spoil what exactly happens,
Please, thank
but
you.
uh, basically, in layman's terms, uh, if I would have picked option A, which is what I did not pick, I would have gotten a an Avengers Endgame where everything works out in the end. Uh, well, not necessarily works out, but works out better for my characters. I picked the Game of Thrones path where everything dies.
I don't see the issue.
I do because I have to storm this place with no help, and they have an army.
Well, you have a you.
Well, I problem that I'm a TikToker. That just three TikTok has fueled me for the past few days. It is filled with some of the most hilarious content I've ever seen. They're like it's stuff that's so wild. Where did I tell you about the goblin and his cat?
The what?
The goblin and the cat.
No.
Okay, so there was a TikTok where this is just something completely off the wall, where it's just a normal random goblin camp, right?
Right.
If you find the camp that they left, there is a diary where the goblin leader talks about his cat, and apparently like the cat ran away and he never found him again. Okay, you can go through and just kill these goblins and just move on with your day. And skip the battle.
Wow. This is why I enjoy like actually well set out games. You there? Ooh. You lose connection? Did he get a call? All can happen. All right. So working now?
Yeah. Let me tell you something. It's evolving. I had my phone on Do Not Disturb mode, and the call still came through. I don't know. I didn't know that could happen. But yeah, so like I was texting my wife, I was like, "Hey, I'm recording," and I got back and like I couldn't hear anything, so I ended the call, started a second call, and then I could hear you, but it said can't connect, and I was like, again, it's my link. How can you? Anyway, but yeah, we should probably stop talking about Baldur's Gate 3 and get into the topic.
Yeah.
Which is you and I were talking about video game series that we never got into.
Yeah. Well, more along the lines of we never played a. Like what I saw you meant was series we haven't played that we want to.
Well, yeah. That was the second part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to pull out the first series and we can start from there?
Yeah. Question is, do you want everybody to boo me right away or later?
I'll boo you.
All right. I actually haven't played any Final Fantasy.
Boo! Boo! You suck! Boo! Man, I honestly think that's not too rare because I mean I've only played a few of them and I'm a big RPG guy. Now
I don't know. Like there's like Final Fantasy VII is it's like so far up everybody's like list of like, oh, this is one of the best games ever, and with like the best story and everything. I'm like, I just don't want to go through like all through like the little turn-based combat. It's just not my kind of game.
And honestly, the problem with especially Final Fantasy VII, a lot of those old JRPGs have a lot of filler content that just don't feel important. And I even had this problem when I was playing Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yeah.
I prefer characters that fantasy characters can still be grounded, and the fantasy characters and Final Fantasy VII in particular just were not grounded. They felt, especially in the remake, they felt like cartoon characters, and that is not what I want from an RPG.
Ooh.
And that's a lot of reason. The reason that I really vibe with Final Fantasy 16, because that game is very like the characters are. There's still a ridiculous character in there, here and there, but for the most part, the characters are grounded. Like they feel like they could be real characters.
Yeah, I can get that. I can get behind that.
And I mean, even Final Fantasy 14, that game absolutely has some cartoon characters in it. But when you're playing the main story, which is arguably the most important part, it's pretty grounded in that respect. Except for there was a part in Final Fantasy 14 and the Endwalker DLC where I could not make this up. You find space rabbits and you have to teach them to take them around and feed them earth foods.
Huh. I thought Dragon Ball had a weird plot about rabbits.
Wait, you thought what now?
I thought Dragon Ball had a weird plot about rabbit.
Oh no, they all have weird rabbit plots. There is like just legitimately you take them around and you're like, oh, here's a carrot and here's an apple, and then you give them a lemon and like, whoa, this sucks. Lemons suck. And then you have to teach them a lesson by feeding them a lemon pie. And they're like, oh my goodness, the lemon pie is good, but lemons are bitter. I guess that means that not everything is as it seems, and it's a big lesson.
I don't feel like that's a game I would play.
Okay, but listen to me. Just listen. Final Fantasy 14 is one of the best RPG stories of all time. It is incredible. It has there are moments, because Final Fantasy 14 takes elements of other Final Fantasy games and puts them in there. Like for example, the Warrior of Light from Final Fantasy One is a raid boss and one of the expansions.
Yeah.
And the post content that is still coming out for Endwalker, which is the latest expansion, Golbez, who is the final boss and the main antagonist in Final Fantasy IV, is the main antagonist here. And his boss, like every scene he is in, is just hype. And there's so many different villains from Final Fantasy IV and these expansion content. They just really know what their fan base wants, and they usually give it to us.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna talk badly about Final. Like, I'm not gonna talk badly about Final Fantasy. I know that it's like it's stayed this long as a gaming icon for a reason.
Oh, absolutely. It's got its and it's one of those games where Final Fantasy, with rare exception, is an anthology series where every story is different. So every Final Fantasy has its group of people that will go to bat for it. That'll say, no, this is the best one. No, this is the best one. Unless you're talking about like Final Fantasy 2, and everybody seems to pretty much agree where they hate that thing.
Yeah, I can see that. All right, I think it's your turn to talk about a game.
Yep. Okay, we're going with games with series that we have absolutely not touched. I'm gonna go with Armored Core. I've never played one.
That was actually on my list too. Like, I haven't played any Armored Core, and to be fair, I have not found many good. I mean, I've tried to look around a little bit, but there's not that many giant robot like simulations, I guess you could say. Like,
Yeah,
the best one I found was Son of the Enders, actually.
Yeah, I've seen that game in my research. I think it might have been in a humble bundle and I didn't get it. But yeah, I mean, I was in the same boat as you were. After FromSoft has just been like on an upward trajectory lately, especially with Elden Ring. They've just exploded into success. And when they announced Armored Core 6, I was like, I should really look into this. And I allegedly have some games to play on my Steam Deck to try out the series, but like, again, Baldur's Gate's out, so that's just dwarfing most of my gaming time.
It's a bit distracting.
Yeah, it's a bit distracting. But I mean, once that game's over, Armored Core 6 comes out at the big. Is it September?
It's the 24th.
Oh, the 24th of this month, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm planning on being done by Baldur's Gate by then. But who's to say? But I'm pretty sure I saw an article where the developer said that it will work on Steam Deck. It will work well on Steam Deck, and it's also the PC requirements are less than what Elden Ring required. So Elden Ring ran phenomenally on Steam Deck. So I'm expecting the same to be true of Armored Core. I mean, the Elden Ring exploded even further into popularity when the Steam Deck came out because that game was like, I think to this day, if you go to the Steam Deck page on the Steam store, the first thing you see is gameplay of Elden Ring on that thing.
Wow.
But yes, I mean it's one of those things where I'm really interested to see what kind of. I'm interested to see how it plays because the only mech game that I could think of was that Deus.
Demon X Machina?
Deus, something like that. I think it was something like that. But yeah, it was a. It's on PC now. I think it's on PC now, but I remember playing it on Switch and
it
just
came out on the Epic Store for a while ago.
Oh, it's not on Steam?
It's on Steam as well, but it came out for free at the Epic Store, and that's where I tried it out a little bit.
Oh, okay. And let me just tell you, first and foremost, when the whole Epic Store debacle came out and everybody was praising hell, like I was always just like, who cares? I mean, it's just another storefront. Now that I have a Steam Deck, I was like, just put everything on Steam. Just put everything on there. I just want everything to just be on the Steam store and work. And I really think the Steam Deck has changed the way developers work because Ubisoft has been slowly bringing all of their games back onto Steam. And now put back on Steam, even though that is not working out well for them because it is the. Have you
I
seen about
love
that?
the meme. I love the memes. Like, well, I don't know how much I can talk about the memes here.
I don't care if you're talking about the memes.
Oh no, I've just been loving like all. I've been loving like mostly like the ones that've been. Yeah, I love how much more effort the guys who make the port for this game have put in than the actual creators.
Oh my god, it's insane. Uh, but have you seen the what was the Steam reviews?
Oh, they're horrible from what I like.
It
I just looked very quickly. It was horrible.
it is now the lowest rated game on Steam. I'm pretty sure.
Holy fuck! How?
Because this is the first time where because before now, Overwatch 2 is locked to BattleNet. You can only play on BattleNet, and BattleNet does not have a place for users to post their reviews.
Yeah.
And with the game being on Steam, now all the players from China are now able to voice their displeasure. Because I think even now, I think all Blizzard games are out of China. Like you can't play them in China. Like even World of Warcraft is not available in China.
Oh wow.
And this is their way of saying, "Hey, this is kind of messed up." And I want to say that Overwatch 2 is free to play, but unlike how it used to be, you can pay to unlock all the heroes, or you can play a lot of in-game, like you can play in-game matches to unlock them. But
Yeah.
it is just it went from a game that you paid for when it came out and you had everything in it to basically a mobile game is what it feels like now.
I mean, it is basically a mobile game. By the way, I am looking at the reviews, and most of the fucking reviews are actually Overwatch port creators work harder than the game developers.
Oh my god, I haven't actually read the reviews. I just saw the stories about them.
Yeah, I just went to the page.
Oh
and
man,
it's just trust me, like nobody really is happy with this game because I mean, what happened with Overwatch 1, where like they basically made it part of Overwatch 2. And basically
yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, and like all the people who actually paid for the game are basically now fucked because yeah, the game you actually spend money on, it's free now.
Yeah, it's pretty messed up. On that note, I think we're done talking about Armored Core. We've kind of gone over to Overwatch, so I'm going to turn it back over to you for another series.
Okay, well, one that connects to another series I played. I played a good bit of is Drakengard.
Drakengard. Now you started telling me about this, but tell everybody else that doesn't know because I didn't know.
Okay, Drakengard is basically more like a medieval kind of RPG game or something.
Uh-huh.
I haven't really played it. I'm mostly interested in it to play because of the story, but because it's basically like tells you. It's basically a story that's set before Nier Automata.
Uh-huh.
And actually, like, apparently it's actually like Nier Automata basically take place after a joke ending of Drakengard 6-3.
Okay, so basically Drakengard encompasses that and the Nier series.
I guess you could say that.
Well, in that case, then I haven't touched any of those either because I've always wanted to play Nier Automata, but I just never. I've tried it a few times, but it just never clicks for me.
That's fair.
Maybe with this handy dandy Steam Deck, I can try it again.
Oh, apparently Drakengard 3 was for the PS3. That's interesting to know.
Well, if it was on the PS3, was it on PC?
Lots of it. It's just been they were PS2 and PS3 games.
Oh well, I guess the only way I can play those games is allegedly on my Steam Deck.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah.
Allegedly, yeah.
Yeah. PS2 and PS3 games.
Man, I actually got into a Twitter war about that earlier because the 360 store shutting down, and this guy was posted, well, everybody got so mad when Sony did it. And I was like, yeah, we got mad when Sony did it because you can't buy those games anymore anywhere. At least on the 360 store is shutting down, but all those games are getting moved into the Xbox One and the Xbox Series S and X store. So not only can you still buy the games, but you can still easily play them, which is not what Sony did.
Yeah.
And then somebody right under that said, Metal Gear Solid 4 wants to talk to you.
Oh man. Actually, speaking of Metal Gear, just a little side thing. I really hope that as soon as they port the Metal Gear 3 for PC, Metal Gear Solid 3 for PC, I hope they added the crouch walking.
Are you talking about the
Yeah, for the 3DS.
Well, I was about to say, we're talking about the remake they're doing?
Actually, for the remake and just the actual porting of the PS2 original.
Yeah, I'm actually really hoping that the rumors, because, you know, the Metal Gear Solid Volume 1 is coming out, but there's also the rumor for Metal Gear Solid Volume 2. And the rumor is that game, that collection is going to have 4, and it's going to be the first time it's playable outside of the PS3.
Oh, God, that's going to be so good.
I just hope. I pray.
Old Kamega HD pack.
I just pray that you can pause the cutscenes.
Oh, I don't remember if you can because I never pause a cutscene. I just sit down and watch them.
Dude, pausing cutscenes has become like a pet peeve for me, and because especially since I'm a parent. Like, if I can't pause the cutscene, I immediately want to stop playing the game.
You know what? That I can understand. I mean, it's a very much a I don't have too much time. Like, I have to stop every so often, so I kind of need to pause. I get that.
And Baldur's Gate 3 has limited pausing. So but it's such a good game that I'm like, you know what, you're gonna get a pass, but I'm not happy about it.
All right. Well, going back to games.
Okay, so it's my turn now. Yeah. I have never played any of the Alone in the Dark games.
Me neither. Although I heard the last one that came out is not very good.
It's not. It is so bad. I only I'm saying that I never played any of the Alone in the Dark games because I've only played the opening, the demo of the newest Alone in the Dark, which was for it was for the 360 and it was originally just the 360, right? And they came out when they ported it to the PS3. It was called Alone in the Dark Inferno, and they fixed a lot of the issues that people had in the game, but it was still really bad. Like, people still hated it. But I think the average reviews went from a 2 to a 6.
Yeah, I'm talking about it. By the way, I'm talking about the one that came out last year or the year before that.
Oh yeah. There was it was was it an asynchronous multiplayer thing?
I thought it was just a co-op multiplayer thing.
Okay, it might have been that. That's kind of what I was aiming for.
Yeah, but yeah, it looked very shit.
And the thing is, I have every Alone in the Dark game on Steam except for that one, the one you're talking about. But I just Alone in the Dark 1 through 3 was just a product of being some of the first horror games. So they did not age well.
Yeah, it's kind of difficult for them to age well, especially if they're the first.
Yeah, but I'm really excited about the new Alone in the Dark. That comes out. That's this year, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Oh,
there is that.
They have a prologue.
Yeah, I was about to say there is a demo that I do plan on playing, and that could be an episode. We could both play that demo if you're down.
I am downloading it right now.
All right, that'll be the next episode we'll do. We'll play that and we'll talk about it.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to move on or?
Yes, it's back to you.
All right. I'm gonna go for a very cute game, Pikmin.
Oh my God, Pikmin! That is a very sore spot in my gaming backlog that I've always wanted to try.
I mean, I remember playing like a little demo for the GameCube, and it was just so cute and nice.
Yeah, I remember having because back in the GameCube days when you would go into like any stores that sold games, they would have like little kiosks where you could like play the demos,
Yeah.
and that's where I played the demo for Pikmin One, but I never played any of them. Uh, and I played the demo for that 3DS game, but that wasn't a true. That was like a spin off more than anything.
Oh yeah.
And I've got a lot of problems with how Nintendo's doing things, but Pikmin 4 came out over the summer, and people really loved that game. I want to say the Metacritic for that game is like an 86 or an 87.
Yeah, I don't think they're like low at all, like Pikmin in general.
Yeah, I mean, it's a beloved franchise, and uh, I mean, when Pikmin 4 was announced, I mean, it wasn't something that I was necessarily stoked for, but I mean, there were a lot of people that were stoked for it.
Yeah. Looking at the reviews from Metacritic, 87 for 4, 3 has an 85, Pikmin 2 has a 90, and Pikmin 1 has an 89.
What about that 3DS game?
Oh, I wanted to skip it, but 69.
Nice. All right, so okay, so I will go. We have time for one more round, one more from each of us, and
All right.
I am going to. And this could be one where we could just keep going on this for like episodes and episodes and episodes. Uh, I'm going to cheat a little bit because the only game in this franchise that I have played was a spinoff, and I'm going to say Silent Hill.
Well, to be fair, we talked about it, and I played the same spin-off as you, and I do want to play the other ones.
Yeah, Silent Hill is just like, especially Silent Hill 2, like everybody loved that game. I just feel like if I would have, like, I wish I would have played Silent Hill 2 when it came out, so I could have experienced that same fear as everyone else.
Yeah.
And I actually do want to play the original Silent Hill 2, allegedly, somehow, before
My
the
main,
remake comes out.
my main issue was because I did want to play like the OG ones. My main issue was the Silent Hill collection that came out for Xbox 360 and PS3 apparently was really badly made. So when I remember when I was buying games for my PS3, I was like, oh, this is like a series I wanted to get into. Then I just started looking up reviews. Oh yeah, like the game's basically fucked to hell.
Yeah, and really the only Silent Hill game that is readily available on Steam is Silent. It's called Silent Hill Homecoming, and that one was the first next gen. It was next gen at the time. It was on the 360 and PS3, and the only thing that I remember about that game is people were mad because you played as a soldier, so you were playing as a character that was trained in combat, so it wasn't as scary.
Yeah, I now that I remember, like going back to your house, I remember one time you had oh, I forgot the one for the PSP was called.
I thought that was Shattered Memories.
No, no, no. The Shattered Memories came out for PS2, Wii, and
It was PSP because I played it on my PSP. But
PSP.
I
No,
think you're thinking of Origin,
I think so. Yeah,
the one where you're the trucker.
yeah,
Okay, yeah, that was Origin. Which that one
yeah,
did get a PS2 port.
yeah. But not. Oh, I just remember. I remember us playing a bit on your PSP.
Yeah, man, that was back in the golden days of PSP.
Yeah.
All right, well,
Yeah.
I'm gonna turn it back over to you.
Okay. Damn. Okay. I'm gonna end with one I've wanted to play, but I haven't played it specifically because I have it on the Epic Store. The Batman Rockstar trilogy.
Okay. I understand how.
I'm kind of losing you audio wise, dude.
Oh no.
Very shoppy. Very shoppy. Can you talk again? Are you there? Hello? I hear you. It's just very. I think you're going through. I don't know. I think you're just going through an area of slow. Yeah, now I hear you clear. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, good.
Okay, so you're talking about Batman Arkham series.
Yeah, the Arkham trilogy. Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I have it in the Epic Store. I just don't want to play it on the Epic Store.
Honestly, dude, if you go E2A or you can get the Arkham trilogy, like all of them for about $6.
Oh, I know, like, now it's really cheap.
Oh yeah, you can really get good discounts on those now. Now that it's a little bit of time has passed. Yeah, that's the only one in that I played all the way through Cities though. But what I did, something that I'm a little bit ashamed of, is I got Arkham Knight when it released on, but just
Ooh.
And I tried it. I tried to play it again recently. Again, just didn't finish it. I don't know what it was. But I just couldn't bring myself.
It happens.
Yeah.
We've all
Yeah,
had those games.
But a good franchise. I mean, but all of them. Arkham Origins is outside of the Rocksteady trilogy. But I mean, that game has issues, but I mean, it's still not a bad game. I mean, probably the only game that you can argue is bad in the Arkham universe is the Gotham Knight game.
Yeah, I have not heard very good things about that one. I mean,
that being said,
like, I remember, like, when it came out, it was just like all the graphic issues.
Yeah, and I think it might have had a bad PC port, maybe. And it just was so meh that if you just wait for any kind of sale, you can get it for $17.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, like, I don't remember if it's basically what I think it was. This same team who made the PC port for Arkham Knight. It's the same one who made which is a terrible port. It was the same one who made it once for the port for Last of Us.
Yep, it was. And let me tell you, they say it's better. It is not. I mean, it's better, but I tried to play The Last of Us on my Steam Deck not that long ago, and it crashed like 30 minutes in.
Oh, wow, that's lovely. They fixed so well.
I mean, in their defense, it is better, but it's still not great.
Yeah, no, they need to actually fix it. No.
Yeah, well, that will be a topic for another time, Leo. I'm about to pull into my driveway. So we will continue this conversation another time in another series. And thanks, everybody, for listening. And thank you for joining me, buddy.
Oh, thanks for having us. It's always very fun to talk about games in general.
Absolutely. See you later.
See you later, man.